like something to drink, something to eat. Just interesting, I was chatting there, Carl Morrison was just chatting with Pete there, and Pete was saying, just Carl made the observation there that, it's all the little things, the dollar here, the dollar there, the attention to detail, and all those dollars add up to a lot of money. And at the end of the day, it's not rocket science. You can't suddenly go around and find I'm going to whack 100,000 out of some expenditure somewhere. It doesn't happen. It's the little bits every day you find that you save that add up to a lot of money over time. And it's that whole ethos of I can save some money here or there, or it's better invested there. That's what gets you in a different place. I just wanted to recap. I'm sure I've got too much stuff in my hands here. Not having my food. Got 4 daughters, how bad could it be? Just wanted to, we didn't, in terms of, spend a wee bit of time with Pete and Emma at the start there, just in terms of, from the outset, their goals have been consistent and reliable profits, treating people in the business well, and caring for the environment in which they farm. It puts into context a bit why they do what they do, and to achieve these goals, their approach to farming has been implement simple systems that deliver results, make continuous improvements to the herd, the pastures, the soil, the irrigation, the farm layout, the roads and fencing, the capability of the people. And these make the business more profitable, simpler to manage, and a more attractive place to live. I think Pete's probably like, well, not rocket science, but over time, and it's a little bit of the staff too, over time, rinse, repeat. It's those little things that add up, the little things like, the stuff we can all do. We said it's an easy farm, it's square, all the paddocks are the same. That's what he did, he set it up. The walks aren't bad because he did the lanes so the walks were good. The distances, he changed it all around. He took steps to make the thing work well, to make it simple, and simple things are easier to manage and easier to manage really well. So over a period of 9 years, he's got himself to where he has physical performance, financial performance, by taking all these steps. He did stuff, and it's all added up. So hats off to that. Pete, just to explain a little bit, you have, for me, I've always believed that it's easier, and I do it at home, it's easier to stick more cows on. It takes care of the management. You just whack more cows on, and guys can make less mistakes. There's less room to stuff it up. You chuck in supplement when you're running out, sort of thing. It does make it easy. You've gone totally the opposite way, that you have, you believe that more cows means more feed demand, more feed going to the wrong place, and more cows means more costs. Just to expand on why, in terms of less cows, would it be easier to go the other way, or you firmly believe that this is the right way to go?
It's more cows, it's more costs, there's more work too. It's a big difference milking 1,000 cows versus milking 1,100. Those 2 extra rounds, it's another 20 minutes of milking. Wake up at 4:30, wake up at 4:10, or start cutting at 4:10, so wake up at 3:30. So I'd much rather wake up at close to the 4 o'clock than close to the 3:30. It's a big part of it.
I meant to, sorry, and that's a little bit incremental thing again. I think that was Will Green. We said at the start there, it was one thing that stood out to Will. It's the incremental gains over a period of time. That little, those sort of thinking bits that add up. The 10 minutes a day adds up to a lot of hours a year of time better spent. Was there anyone have a question after you were all chatting there? Some of you probably come up with some burning questions. I apologise, I meant to ask. Does anyone have a question they wanted that came up of this discussion, the smoke over there, that they want to pose now? No? All good? In terms of, and I'm not going to, I'll just keep this brief because we've actually strayed all over stuff I was going to do in the previous session. Thanks, Virginia. But you're not corralling the troops. What happens is you farm an unsupproved lot. Say we get step change in technology. We get some GM in the grass and it grows more. You can grow another 500. You're already doing a wee bit of mowing. You're already going a fast round and a bit of topping. You're suggesting you could be wasting a wee bit of grass. What happens if you're going to grow more grass? You can grow more grass. What do you do?
Yeah, we've cut 300 bales of silage on the platform this year, and so typically we only do like 100 bales. So that's probably a bit of an indicator that we've grown too much grass and not even enough, or put enough in the vat. It has been a favourable season with rain, so maybe it's one-off. Maybe we haven't had system changes. But if there was, GM grasses that grow 10% more, we'd definitely have to look at how we're going to harvest it, and our genetics might be gaining that 1% a year, so stocking rate's going to have to go up. Yeah. But I'd say, the amount of silage we're making on farm is probably a real good indicator on how the balance is working.
Yep. Feel free to ask any questions at any stage, anyone too. Just take the hand up so I'm looking here. You did say, now you mentioned genetics, your dairy genetics, hopefully Heather, I'm not straying into your space, but your stocking rate, your cow, how does your breeding, what's your expectation from your cows? You're breeding better cows, the genetic potential goes up, what the ability to eat goes?
Yeah, just what you're saying, hopefully they're more capable of eating more dry matter, and so the more dry matter they eat, more milk they produce, and the proportion of maintenance to production goes more towards the production.
And is that like what you saw here? That's not breeding effect we're seeing there, is it? Or is it? Do you think? Have you pondered that? That the production's been
I don't think it is yet. We've sort of really only focused on it the last 3 or 4 seasons. Our genetic gains really only just coming, I think, and it's probably only really in the young stock. It's not like throughout the herd. I don't think. Till now it's pretty standard BW wise.
Just explain. You've already just, can you revisit? You already covered this earlier, but the milking supplements, they are. So you're at 50. You work the cows are working for the first. Actually, go through. Go through your seasonal from start. How does the season look for you in terms of rotation, feeding from the end of January? Go through the seasons. How does that look in terms of on farm?
From the end of January?
Yeah, say
to the end of your season. Or?
Yeah, so probably that we're talking about we're just business as usual up to the end of January, isn't it? And then what happens? The autumn, spring.
So rotation length and so we normally try to be on like a 30-day round in April. We pretty naturally just slow down through March. We don't put like a huge emphasis on slowing the round down. We do all our regrassing previous to Christmas, so that's coming back into the round. That provides us more grass. We stop doing silage, making silage. So that's that area coming in. So we can pretty naturally with that 3.2 cows a hectare just get to a 30-day round without any supplement. So that brings us to right now we've been feeding PK for the last few days, and that's just they're on a 30-day round. They were meeting the 1500 residual. Felt like there's capacity for them to eat more on that 30-day round and still meet the 1500 residual, so we put it in. And from here we'll just pretty well stay 30 days for April and probably be 35 days for May. And we'll just keep increasing the amount of supplement. There'll be fodder beet going in. That's on the platform. We don't typically feed silage in autumn, but we have way more silage on farm than we normally have. Cut more and we bring a couple hundred bales from the runoff. It's a big cracker on the dry land. Yeah. It used to be like 30 days, 40 days, 50 days. So 30 days in March, 40 days in April, 50 days in May. But then that was coming back to trying to speed things up so we didn't have like all this yellow grass going through winter, and having like these rank covers in our first round when the cows had just calved and they want high energy.
Can I do a follow-up question, Al?
Yes, I was looking for questions just
So,
to
yeah,
I'll make sure everyone stays with us.
I am keeping an eye on it. There's one here. Wait, like that?
Yeah, if you're mowing 2.5 rounds, you're not measuring the pasture, even though I'm pretty sure you've got a pretty good eye for what's in the paddock. And saying the cows are fully fed, are you calculating they're eating 18 kilos, 20 kilos? Are you judging that there's mowed grass left in the paddock? How are you determining that capacity of feed when you're mowing for 2.5 rounds on the trot?
You can still tell even with a pre-graze mow how happy they are, and like you've got the fence lines to go off, and there's always like a bit at the front or a bit at the back that hasn't been mown that you can see what the residual would be. So yeah, everyone, all the team look at that, and yeah, we try not to. It's pretty easy when you're pre-graze mowing that like start of November to just keep speeding the round up because you're not leaving a bad residual behind, are you? So you have to be pretty be careful that you don't end up on like a 15-day round.
With regard to the pivot and then picking Boston paddocks and spring paddocks next season, how do you get on there?
Hey, can you say it again, please?
It's on.
With regard to having effluent under your pivot now and covering a much bigger farm, how do you manage setting up colostrum and springer paddocks to minimize exposure?
Yeah, we normally, for our springer paddocks, we'll save up about 20 hectares that'll miss a grazing in May. So we're like pretty tactical on which paddocks we'll put those in. Sort of half the farm's irrigated by quite a big pivot. There's a big window wiper that's only just had effluent put on it. So it's like a lot of that part of the farm could easily be springer paddocks. We know around the cow shed here is like real high in potassium from years of travelling irrigators. We keep away from them. The colostrums do still go in those paddocks. But yeah, the springers we definitely try to keep out of paddocks that we think will have a high K level. And yeah, and probably like the application of effluent, think about that as we're getting closer to now, like if there's a springer paddock, certainly wouldn't be trying to put effluent over it. It's a couple of months.
Okay, moving on. So cows milk to, they milk twice a day to the, pretty much everything milks to the end of May, late May. And then what happens?
Yeah, we just dry them off on farm in batches. The 200, they just go straight into calving mobs. Don't do any body condition scoring. They just, yeah, we got an early calving mob, dry them off. Got a late calving mob, dry them off, and a mid calving mob. That's yeah, they just walk them, pretty much dry them off and walk them to the runoff. Use the dry land grass to dry them off properly up there. We try to do a good job at drying them off up there.
And winter feed, winter diet.
Winter
It's a dry land runoff, so it's
Yeah,
a little
it's
bit
right.
hit and miss of what's going to be there. But
Yeah, so we normally sow about 25 hectares of beet, and we went to 600 cows from here and then 200 cows from Collies. So it's, all fodder beet. Give them 9 kgs of beet and 3 bales of silage to 200 cows, so about 4.5 kgs of silage per mob. We don't feed any straw. That's pretty well it. And we just try to have like a good calculation on yield and don't overestimate that.
any reason why that's 4.5 to 9? Is it just because that's what silage are there? Like if you didn't have the silage made, would you be doing it anyway? Is that a part of the recipe that the cows have a 2/3, 1/3?
I definitely think that protein level is really important with fodder beet. So fodder beet's low in crude protein, and obviously silage is higher. So trying to increase that. We do, and we still have a bit of struggle with like cows calving earlier and not bagging up that well, even with that level. And I wonder how much of that is protein, or maybe there's some cows going on. Haven't figured that out. Yeah, was another point there.
And one thing, and after and I think you're saying to me that the last 2 weeks are on raggedy old grass up there. When that stuff runs out, the beat and the soils run out, they're on safe grass, or there is a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I've followed the other point. A lot of it is like, so we're trying to, that support block, I'm trying not to be there all the time, so it's pretty well cut silage for winter as many cows as possible, and not have stock there through the year. We have a few bulls just to tidy up the lanes and keep the hair on the fences. And so with that, to have a good like crop rotation, we can't have, we have 2 years in beet, 6 years in grass. Through that, it's 25% of the farm in beet and 75% in grass. And then so 75% of the farms in grass, we do have quite a bit of silage. So we're not going to be scarce on it, I guess. And then we like to get through that beet as sort of soon as we can, and then we got the 75 hectares of grass to transition them off really. So we put everything on beet, tidy it up as soon as possible, and then it's easy. Everything's on grass, and I've had a good transition off.
I'm just conscious that the weather's good. I'm thinking, I haven't got through all why don't we get up and go outside, and we'll go straight to the breeding. We'll come back. I just want to talk about the spring management and that a little bit too. I know we haven't finished it, but I think the weather's right. I know you're not all prepared for the wet weather, so let's get in. Who's going to lead us on this one? Not Will Green just sat down. So perhaps Pete, you and I can lead the charge. We'll go out to the paddock, and Heather will take us through the breeding cycle.